July the 30th, 1930. Behind me is the Estadio Centenario, Montevideo, Uruguay. And this is where it all began for the World Cup. But this stadium should not exist. 6 months ago, this was an empty patch of land. They would build a stadium worthy of the occasion, from scratch, in 8 months. Right now, this is the only stadium on Earth that has ever hosted a World Cup final, because this is the first one, ever. 93,000 people are inside that ground right now. And not one of them has any idea that what they are watching today will grow into the biggest sporting of people. A trophy worth $20 million. It all starts right here. Workers going around the clock, day and night, rain or shine. They named it the Estadio Centenario after Uruguay's 100 years of independence. And today, every single seat is filled. Before a ball is even kicked, there is already an argument. Both teams want to use their own ball. FIFA's solution? Uruguay's ball. That actually happened at the first ever World Cup final. Argentina lead 2-1 at half-time. Their ball, their half. And the fourth, the Castro, a man who lost part of his hurt. His remaining fist raised rise to the sky. 4-2, Uruguay. The first ever World Cup winners. And Rimmet hands a golden trophy to Uruguay cap time for the very first time in history. Now the World Cup moves to Europe. Italy, 1934. Rome, a tournament used as pure political theatre, and then the world falls apart. No World Cup in 1942, no World Cup in 1946. And when it does, it comes back in the most extraordinaries ever built for a football match. 1950, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Maracana, built specifically for this World Cup. And I want you to let this number sink in. Capacity, 200,000 people. The largest football stadium ever constructed in human history. Concrete terracing rising so steeply you could barely see the pitch from the top. On the final match day, 1994 people pack inside. Brazil need only a draw to win the tournament. Uruguay need to win. And then the unthinkable happens. Uruguay score in the 79th minute. The Maracanazo. The silence that falls over 200,000 people is described by journalists as the saddest sound they ever heard. Uruguay win. Scars Brazilian football forever. Switzerland, 1954. The Wankdorf Stadium in Bern. West Germany beat Hungary, a nation rebuilding itself after the war, winning the World Cup. Remarkable. Sweden, 1958. A teenage prodigy just scored twice in this final. The youngest player ever is in tears on his teammate's shoulder. It has just witnessed something completely new. Chile, 1962. The Estadio Nacional in Santiago. Brazil win again. And then 1906, Wembley, and the most dramatic tournament on home soil anyone had ever seen. Wembley Stadium, London. 1963,000 people inside the home of English football. But before, the World Cup trophy is stolen from a public exhibition in London. Scotland Yard launches a full investigation. The whole world watching England's embarrassment. And then a dog named Pickles, sniffing around a garden in South London, finds it wrapped in newspaper under a bush. A dog sniffed under a bush and solved the biggest theft in sporting history. The host nation wins the tournament. The captain lifts this exact trophy right here. The crowd erupts. Unbelievable. Mexico, 1970. The Azteca Stadium, 107,000 people, and the greatest football team ever assembled is about to play in this final. West Germany, 1974, the Olympia Stadion in Munich, the most tactically revolutionary style of football ever played. One team plays it to perfect, the other wins. That is football. West Germany, 1974, the Olympia Stadion in Munich, total football, the most tactically revolutionary style of football ever played. Argentina, 1978. The Estadio Monumental in Buenos Aires. Ticker tape raining from the stands like a blizzard. The host nation wins on home soil. Spain, 1982. The Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid. The final so tense the stadium itself feels like it is holding its breath. The Italians win. Mexico, 1986. The Azteca again. And one man is about to do something so extraordinary, so controversial, so still be arguing about it 40 years later. The number 10 punches it. And the referee misses it. 114,000 people are stunned. He calls it the hand of God. And then 4 minutes later, the same man picks up the ball in his own half, beats 5 defenders, runs 60 meters, and scores the goal of the century. Same man, the only one ever to 2 finals. Italy, 1990. The Stadio Olimpico in Rome. The most defensive final ever played. 1 goal. And the most watched sporting event on Earth up to that point. USA, 1994, the Rose Bowl in Los Angeles, the first ever final decided by a penalty shootout. Best player on the losing side steps up for the decisive kick. He runs up. France, 1998, the brand new Stade de France in Paris. The home nation wins it. Their playmaker scores twice with his head in the final. A nation united. It's 2002, Yokohama, Japan, the first ever final held on Asian soil. The Brazilian striker scores twice. His team win their 5th time on their continent. Berlin 2006, the Olympia Stadion. The final decided by penalties. But before that, in extra time, the best player on the pitch headbutts an opponent. 2010, Soccer City, Johannesburg, South Africa, the first final ever played on African soil. The Vuvuzelas heard around the world, finally hosting the biggest show on earth. 2014, the Maracana again, Brazil hosting. German side beat the host nation 7-1. Same stadium, same pain. The German side go on to win the final right here in the Maracana. Brazil are heartbroken twice in their own most sacred stadium. Moscow 2018. The Luzhniki Stadium, one of the most entertaining finals in decades. 4-2. 2022, Qatar, the Lusail Stadium, a stadium in the middle of the desert. Every single seat cooled, gold and gleaming. And the final played here that night. Possibly the greatest final ever played. 3-3 after extra time. A young forward on one side scores 3 goals. The captain of the light blue and white shirts lifts that trophy. The greatest player of his generation. The one trophy him had escaped his entire career. 2026. The biggest match on earth is coming right here. 48 nations for the first time ever, and the final played on this exact pitch behind me. The same stadium where the local football teams play every season. Now expanded to over 80,000 seats for the occasion. An estimated 6 billion people will watch simultaneously. From 93,000 people in a brand new stadium in Uruguay in 1930 to 6 billion watching a final right here in New Jersey in 2026. Same game, same dream. From 13 teams arriving by boat to 48 nations competing across 3 countries. From a leather ball that got heavier in the rain to technology tracking every single movement on the same story. It all started right there, July the 30th, 1930, Montevideo, Uruguay. The very first final, and now it ends right here. Remember, history isn't gone, it's just behind us.